This is a business radio show where we talk about the craziness of small business. It's that craziness that actually makes it exciting, interesting, and totally unpredictable. This is Business Insanity Talk Radio with your host, Barry Moltz.
Welcome to Business Insanity Talk Radio. This is your host, Barry Moltz, and this is the final word in small business. For those keeping track, this is show number 344. This episode is provided by Sage One, an online accounting and business services solution that every small business needs. It's also provided by Nextiva, the answer to all your business communication solutions right in the cloud. Well, if you're going to be successful in today's business, you got to think about how you're going to scale it. You may be earning a living, but what about making it really big and making an obscenely large amount of money? We're going to show you exactly how to do that. We're also going to talk about how to form effective relationships with other people, ones that can help build the culture in your business that you need to succeed. But first, if you're going to be successful, you also got to learn to negotiate. Negotiate with your customers, your employees, your vendors, and your partners. This does not have to be confrontational, and you can get what you want for your business, but what is the best way to do it? Here to help is Tali Raphaely, is an attorney, president and managing member of Armor Settlement Services, LLC. He's a motivational speaker who has instructed countless people on developing their negotiation skills. The author of a book called The Complete Guide on How to Negotiate, Master the Art of Getting What You Want in Business and in Life. Tali, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to be here with you.
So why is negotiating so intimidating for so many people that they just shy away from it?
People think that you have to win and that there only can be one winner and that you have to basically get everything that you want in order to walk out of that negotiation feeling successful. It's not true. And people also think that it has to be a confrontation. So, of course, when you're ready for a confrontation, you're going to be on edge. It's going to be a stressful experience for you. Walking into the car dealership for most people is a great example. But what I tell people is it's not a confrontation at all. It's not a competition. It's cooperation. And it's about listening and communicating and working things out where everybody walks away a winner. And when you have that mindset, you no longer are stressed and you see things completely differently.
So how do you prepare yourself for that so it doesn't turn into, from the start, a disagreement?
First of all, you have to be prepared to listen more. That's probably the biggest mistake people make. They want to get their points across, and they just talk and talk and talk, and they don't listen. If you listen more, if you don't cut off the other person when they're talking, if you let them finish their points, you're going to hear valuable information that will help you with your negotiation. You'll understand better their point of view, what they're trying to get out of the negotiation, and that can help you as you negotiate with them.
So give us an example. You said if you listen more, you're going to get valuable information. What's an example of some valuable information you get just by listening and not talking?
A lot of times there's uncomfortable silence in the middle of a negotiation. Somebody may say something. It may be, for an example, a seller may say, we are looking for $250,000. If they feel like they're looking for too much money, if you immediately respond, then now you've already done the talking. If, however, you don't immediately respond, if you're silent, they may feel some pressure to add something. They will probably say something else afterwards when they see that you're silent, because people don't like uncomfortable silence. Somebody is going to try to fill the gap of that uncomfortable silence. Let it be the other person. So they may say, we're looking for $250,000. You may just sit there, nod your head, just listen, and before you know it, they may say, but we're willing to negotiate. Now, had you spoken too quickly, you wouldn't have gotten that last very important piece of information. Now you've just been told 250 is not a rock-solid number. They're willing to go down. So it's little things like that. It's about being patient and just listening and communicating and not rushing to say everything that's on your mind.
Now, what happens if you start the negotiation and the person on the other side, they're just itching for a fight? What do you do?
You've got to calm them down. I mean, it's no different than being with a dangerous animal. And what do you have to do? I mean, you've got to calm them down. It's in your best interest to make this negotiation peaceful and not confrontational if you want to get, at the end of the day, what you're trying to accomplish. So you have to basically take them off of edge. You have to show them that you're not confrontational, and you just have to be very good about listening. You have to understand why. If you start listening to somebody better and you communicate better and you ask good questions, you'll start to understand why that person feels that way. They may have had a history of very poor negotiations where they haven't gotten what they want. They may be on edge. They may be intimidated by you. They may feel like they don't have any leverage, and so they have to be tough. That also, by the way, is a good example of what a lot of people do. They feel like they have to be strict, they have to be tough in order to psych you out, in order to win in a negotiation. But it's not about winning and losing. Everybody can win. So when you calm them down a little bit and show them that it's not about that, this isn't a confrontation, we're here to work something out together. At the end of the day, we're on the same team because we both want to get this deal done. So that's the best way to really calm them down and put them at ease.
We're talking with Tali Raphaely. He's the author of a book called The Complete Guide to How to Negotiate, Master the Art of Getting What You Want in Business and in Life. Well, in the book, Tali, you talk about 45 fundamentals to guide the reader's thinking when they negotiate. Which ones are really the most important? What's the biggest takeaway?
There's so many. And one is don't go first. That's a huge one. A lot of times people want to make an offer. They want to say, hey, all I can do is this, or all I'm willing to pay is this, or we need this. Don't do that. Try your best to let the other person go first. You never know how low or high they're thinking. There's no reason. Once you go out there and say something, you can't take it back. So let them establish the first number. Let them establish what's going to happen with this negotiation. And then you can go from there. You can react from that. They may shock you. They may be asking for much less than you thought they were going to ask for. Or they may be willing to give you a lot more than what you were willing to, than what you actually all needed.
Yeah, this is a really important point, Tali, because they then establish the value to them, right?
That's correct. Obviously, there's always some wiggle room. Usually when somebody negotiates, they'd be asking for more than they really need to get. They'd be actually offering less than they're willing to pay. But still, let them start. It makes it so much easier for you to go from there.
Now, you also say in the book that it's important. You got to be willing to bluff. Why is that so important?
Well, sometimes you have to bluff because you may not be in a negotiation where things are really going your way. And so if you continue to, if you don't bluff, if you're not willing to take chances, you may not get anywhere nearly what you want. So sometimes you've got to be willing to make that bluff. You have to be willing to say, look, this isn't going to work for us. You have to be willing to do the takeaway, which means basically you can show the other party, you know what, this isn't really working out too well. We appreciate the time everybody's put into this and effort, but we're going to have to pass on this. And if they want to negotiate with you and they want to make this deal, they may then realize that they've got to reconsider, they've got to come down from whatever stance they're at, or this isn't going to work. You have to do it in a way where you can still somehow go back and still continue the negotiation if that bluff doesn't work. So there's all kinds of techniques that I show people, because if you're not careful and you bluff and the person calls your bluff, the negotiation is pretty much done, or if you reopen it, you've lost any leverage you possibly had. And then they're not going to, your credibility is going to be shot because you bluffed and you basically got called out. So it's all about the techniques. It's all about how you do it. And it all comes down to semantics and just how you phrase things, how you say things.
Tali, what about the idea, a lot of folks use the good guy, bad guy when they're having multiple negotiators. Does that work?
It does. It has to be done the right way. It has to be done. First of all, you have to be genuine. You have to be sincere with people. That's very, very important in negotiations, especially because a lot of times when you're negotiating with somebody, you may be negotiating with that person again in the future. And if your credibility is not there, then you've got nothing. Integrity is very important. Having said that, you may have business partners. You may have a spouse. You may have other people involved on your side of the negotiation. There is nothing wrong with trying to show the other side that you're the good guy. Hey, I'm trying to make this work, but my partner, my wife, my husband, they're a lot tougher than I am, and they're telling me I've got to do this or I've got to get this. It's okay because oftentimes it actually happens to be true. So you may be willing to accept a certain offer, but your business partner may want more. And so you're in a tough spot, and that's what you're trying to explain to the person you're negotiating with. Hey, look, if it were up to me, I would do it. My partner's a little bit tougher than I am. So please, let's try to seriously work this out somehow, and we can compromise somehow and work it out. So it does become very helpful when you could do the good cop, good guy, good gal, bad gal, etc.
One of the lessons I wanted to ask you, Tali, was we hear so much about this, and it's an overused phrase, a win-win in negotiation. Is that really possible, or is that just a platitude?
100% possible. That's exactly what I talk about. That's what I push for everybody who negotiates. It's a win-win because both people walk away from the table, both parties walk away from the table knowing that they got a lot of what they want. Nobody walks away feeling like they lost, that they're a loser, that they didn't get anything that they want. So if you have a win-lose, one party gets everything they want, the other party gets nothing they want. And for whatever reason, the party who lost the negotiation, call it that, they may not have had any leverage, and so they lost. But if you have a win-win, both parties are happy because they realize everybody compromised, everybody understands, and they've seen, and it's been made clear that they didn't get everything they want. They see that the other party compromised. They know they compromised as well, but they still walked away with the most important thing that they needed out of that negotiation.
Well, Tali, thanks so much for being on the show. You reach Tali at www.taliraphaely.com, TaliRaphaely.com. Thanks, Tali.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being on the show with you.
Thank you. Coming up, do you stink like I do at forming solid long-term relationships in your business? Well, the doctor is in, and Dr. Patty Ann is going to show you how to do it. This is AM 560. The Answer will be right back.